Alright, we're ready to go here at Dover. This is, of course, the final race in the round of 16 for the chase. I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't nervous about this one. It's Dover. It's a very difficult track, especially with the high speeds and some of the derpy physics. Makes it a little bit interesting, to say the least. So, well, we were going to try to get around Kenseth, or at least get behind Kenseth. The bottom of the track is so very important, especially in the early stages of this one. Get down to the end, or try to get down to the inside of Logano. He was going very slow there, but we're going to shove it down his inside. It looks like Kyle Busch is going to go down to the inside. It's going to be 3 wide off of turn 2. That's not really what you want to do at Dover, but we made it stick. And now chasing down Kenseth, hopefully for P1 here. Oh, but I got parked in the middle of the corner by Kenseth. And almost run up the track a little too high by Kyle Busch. Whoa, good grief. Somehow I managed to hold on to it. We lost a few positions there, but hopefully this will actually give us a little bit of an advantage as we get to spread the field out a little bit more. So it looks like the car's picking up a bit of an understeer here that I wasn't necessarily having in qualifying. I'm just going to have to find the groove that I was able to run in qualifying. Wide entry, try to stay around the bottom. That's definitely the most grip, fastest part of the track. But at the same time, you can see the AI really love running down there. I was really happy with qualifying, actually. We were really felt on pace. And it was a great duel with Harvick and Logano and Kenseth. And we set a good lap, but we can run into the 23s, high 23s. As the race starts to settle down just a little bit, the top 4 just ahead of us. And lap traffic surely will start coming up. This is very similar. You have to drive this race a similar way that you would a Bristol race. It's essentially like a Bristol race at twice the speed. Or nearness makes no difference, twice the speed. Very, very fast track, high banking, but very short at the same time. And just trying to find a way to get around these two. Oh, there was or 4. 2 sets of 2, I suppose. The apron was not the place to be that time. But at least we're pulling away from Mr. Tony Stewart. And these guys are really slowing each other up on the bottom. All jockeying for position. That was a really good corner for me. Just managed to keep it nice and tight down there on the bottom. And now this is where it's going to get tricky, because we've got a really good pace now as the race is settling in. But it doesn't look like there's going to be a lot of places to go, as we said. Nearness makes no difference, a qualifying time right there at 23.8. That is very, very solid pace for the race. And there's just nowhere to get around at the moment. It's almost like we're really going to have to rely on lap traffic and rely on these guys to have to start making moves to the outside, because right now, everybody being on the inside is the shortest way around. There's the most grip. Well, we'll try it. We'll try it. I don't know about this. Yeah, see, the outside, the corner exits at Dover, they sneak up on you. And if you're on that outside groove, and especially out of that, you know, darker gray groove, it really, really wants to suck you into the wall. As we run a little too wide, but we're going to get a good arc off of the corner. Can we get a run here on McFlurry? Oh, and we do, so possibly going to be able to shove it down the inside of Jamie McMurray. And just bounce off him just a little bit. And can we clear him? Can we clear him? Yes! Woo! That was close, but we needed to do that. So we put 1 car behind us. 3 more to go. As I had to crack the throttle there on the exit of the corner. Felt like it was going towards the wall, so discretion is the better part of valor, at least in that situation. As you can see, McFlurry down the bottom, he just gets a much better run through there. Thankfully, I got a better run off of the corner. And we'll try to drive it in here the proper way. Keep it right on the bottom, flirting with that apron, and the car washing up just a little bit because we're losing some aero on the front because of Logano just ahead. And Kyle Busch just cut Logano off at the pass down there in turn 3. can we get up to the front here with 88 laps to go? 88 for Dale. But we've got a long way to go, obviously. I'm fully expecting this race to kind of go the way those Bristol races always go, where you get the silly yellows and whatnot, especially around the pit sequence, which seems to screw everything up. I'm hoping we have some fuel economy in hand as well. I do know I ran almost a full race stint in practice on one set of tires, and tire wear is definitely going to be an issue as well, especially towards the end of a run where tire wear, tire fall off is going to be pretty dramatic, and it's going to make the corner exits even more exciting as we get underneath Joey Logano. Couldn't quite clear him there. The car got a little bit sideways, and there is the lap traffic going just through turn 1. As can we get to the inside of Joey Logano, give him a little bit of a shot there into turn 1. Kind of run him up the track just a little bit, maybe a little too much. A little bit of contact off at turn 2. And now we're going to drive her in there, and we should be able to make it stick. No, Logano hanging tough on the outside. And is he going to have to bail out of it out of 4? No, he's going to hold on to it, but we're going to get a better run and be around Joey Logano for 3rd. So now on to Kyle Busch. Ooh, that was a save and a half right there. I don't know how I managed to save it, but I did. I drove it in a little too confidently into turn 1. And now I've completely screwed myself, because now McFlurry is going to get to the inside. I had to brake in the corner, but we're going to get a good run and back by McFlurry, thankfully. And this time we're going to protect the bottom. Obviously, I think the tires are wearing just a little bit. Can't be quite as confident into the corners as I'd like to be. But again, traffic is going to make this incredibly interesting in terms of who can run the top and who can sneak through traffic. As we do it, we get snake bitten off of the corner. Get behind McFlurry, just give him a little shot there as he was going very slow at the apex of the corner. And now there is Kenseth. He's getting held up by, looks like Eric Jones and Brad Keselowski. Keselowski started in the top 10. What the heck is he doing back there? Well, he's a chaser. So Keselowski in big trouble as Kenseth gets around the lappers of Jones and Keselowski. We're going to run the extreme outside and almost get into the wall there. That is the one real tough thing about running the top at Dover. It's that corner exit. You can just see the wall. It just wants to reach out and grab you. And we're going to be able to run the top once again. Thankfully, now we're kind of on even footing with the AI, because they're having to run the top as well, compromising their corner speeds. And we know we're a little bit faster, as we got a run on Logano there. I had to lift off just a little bit, so I didn't quite have the run I needed. Logano looking to the outside of Kyle Busch, couldn't quite get there as well. And Chris Buescher actually let Kenseth to the inside, which is interesting. And now Buescher, there's a lot of yellow cars right here, but it looks like... Oh, yep, that was going to happen. I knew it. Let's see if Buescher will cut off Busch here. Yes, he will. So Logano is going to go around the outside of Kyle Busch. And we're just, yeah, now the tire wear is really starting to come into it. Really starting to come into it. So we'll try to pass Buescher here as best we can. Hang it around the outside. Very nice, very nice. Had to crack the throttle again. Wasn't just entirely confident on the tire's ability to hold on for dear life through turn 2. And now Logano's trying to pass those lappers to the outside. Bobby Labonte's going to make that very difficult, though, because he's going to sneak up in front of Logano. And Kyle Busch definitely getting held up by David Reagan there. And we'll get around a few of the BK cars here. And actually get a really good run on Logano down here into turn 3. Not going to be really a place to pass him, but we at least got around Kyle Busch. And it looks like Kenseth is having some struggles in the traffic as well, as I had to bail out of it again coming off of turn 4. 77 laps to go. Yeah, clearly a long way to go. And now there's some side-by-side action with more lap cars. Can we get the run on Logano here? Well, we got a decent run into the inside and underneath Brian Scott as well. Oh, no. Oh, that was so close. And everybody bails around the outside. McFlurry tried to wreck me. Oh, I went for it all. I went for it all as Kenseth came into the pits. I didn't quite pull it off. That was an amazing move. And somehow I managed to save it. I guess all that sliding I did at Loudon pays off. But now we've got the leaders coming into the pits anyway, so not a big deal. We're going to take the lead here at Dover as we smack the wall at Dover. And there's a fuel alarm on. Where are we in terms of fuel? We still got 2 laps to go on the fuel. So I'm going to keep her out, at least for this lap here. And then we'll come in the next one. See a little bit of damage, actually quite a bit of damage all the way around the car. But again, once we get some fresh tires on this thing, I think we're going to be pretty good, as we just got 1 lap to go on the fuel there before we have to pit. And here we go. Off of turn 2. As you can see, the car really wanted to go into the wall there. We're going to brake early, possibly lose some time here, just based on the fact that it's hard to brake. But here we go, into the pits. Wow, it was an incredibly slow pit entry. I think I got held up by about every car in the field as they came by, or came out of the pits. But oh well, we'll just have to deal with it. We're getting definitely passed by Kenseth and Logano heading into turn 1. I took a little bit of wedge out of the car to try to get the thing going in the right direction. We're down to P11. We're going to merge out onto the track here as Kyle Busch goes around. So we're not too far back in terms of the overall serial of the layout of the field. We've got essentially the same four cars we needed to pass before still ahead of us. And I took a minute amount of wedge out. It wasn't a whole lot. It was just enough, I feel, to loosen the back of the car up just a little bit to be able to go faster over the rest of a fuel run. And now we're going to be back in deep, heavy lap traffic. So I had to bail out of it just a little bit there with retired Scott. And got to keep Tony Stewart behind us. Don't want him pulling around. And there we go, around Brian Scott very easily. And Kyle Busch is getting held up by Austin Dillon. And we're going to power off at turn 2. So this may be a great opportunity to get Kyle here. And we will maybe pass Kyle back. No, he's going to get underneath Austin Dillon. So we'll have to pass Kyle Busch somewhere else. We're getting to the back of him, but nothing doing there. Didn't mean to hit him. It was just, again, he was parked on the apex of the corner, and I was trying to carry as much speed through there as possible. So we'll arc it out and arc it in. Might lose some time in the center of the corner, but again, we're going to get a run onto the straightaway. Got close to the wall there. And again, run the outside lane. Arc her in. Right down to the bottom. Good run here. Good run here. But it's just not enough quite yet to pull around Kyle Busch. Try that again. It seems to be effective if we can just pull it off. The car, definitely pulled off of the corner, off of turn 4. Looks like we'll maybe be able to get him here in turn 3 if he gets held up by these lap cars. We can time this properly, and it looks like we can. Yes, around Kyle Busch we go. And I did that again. But that time, again, we saved it. But lost a significant amount of time. I wish I would have pulled in behind Truex, but oh well, just have to deal with it. Don't think I gained too much damage from that, but it may be Truex that actually ended up being the worse for wear on that one, because it looks like he's really holding up Kyle Busch now. And Kyle Busch looks like he's getting into Martin Truex. So that's interesting. Okay, here we go. Down into turn number 1. Is Kyle going to be able to get around Truex? Oh, he did. Well, that's what you get, Truex, for going slow and screwing me up. Now Tony Stewart has also passed both me and Kyle Busch. I don't think that matters because I don't think Stewart is a chaser. It's all about passing the chasers right now. As we just get a run on Kyle Busch there, but nothing doing quite yet. trying to get to the outside now. Stenhouse, we've seen this one before.
Still there.
We run into the back of Stenhouse, but there's nothing doing. We can't push him into the corner because of the way NASCAR heat is. And down to the inside of Stenhouse and get around him. So now we've got to continue to pursue Kyle Busch. And on the throttle we go. And try to get a run on him. Oh yeah, that was a really good run. That was a really good run. Can we get him? No, not quite. Not quite. Maybe this lap. Maybe this lap. We definitely have the draft. And down to the inside, a little bit of contact there, but this time we're doing inside. And actually pull off a pass on Kyle Busch. Looks like maybe without the help of lap traffic. Yes! We get Kyle Busch, so now we can set off in pursuit of the top 4. That's of course assuming that Kyle doesn't sneak back to the inside of me, which it looks like he's going to be able to do. Nope. There we go. We got the run that time. I think we'll be able to really pull away now, especially if we can catch Biffle at the right spot. Yep, there you go. There you go. Bye-bye, Kyle. We don't have to worry about him for a while anymore, as long as Biffle doesn't turn down into me, which he didn't. Oh, no, there goes Kyle. And we're going to make some contact with Busch again, but he couldn't get around. Still 61 laps to go. Still quite a ways to go in this one. So we're still, yeah, that's a decent turn 2. It's probably the best one I've gotten in quite a while. So this is going to be probably a pretty good lap here, if we can string together 3 and 4 properly. And off the corner. Now we start chasing down Tony Stewart. And finally get back up to the 4th place we were trying to pursue when we got out of the pits. But thankfully I see McFlurry just up the road as we just scraped the wall. That was about as close as you're going to get without really causing some damage to your car. Oh, a little bit of aero wash off of the corner. Stewart's going to the high side of Paul Menard. And we're going to split him. Okay. Wasn't really wanting to do that, but we made her stick. And now it looks like the game may be lagging a little bit, so we might be getting a yellow. We'll see. We'll see. I'm waiting. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Okay. Green flag still out. I almost caused the yellow right there by getting into Landon Castle on the straightaway. And now McFlurry is having trouble with Brad Keselowski. It looks like he may end up falling out of the chase at this particular juncture. So just run a nice, decent line through 3 and 4. And now about to put Eric Jones 2 or 3 laps down. Not sure how many he's actually behind the race. Also Michael McDowell and Brad Keselowski, who will try to pull around, but McFlurry going to make that difficult because obviously that's for position. And there's the yellow. Did we pass McFlurry? No, we did not. Okay. Get 10 laps of fuel left. I think we're going to pit so I can get repairs. This may put me back a little ways, but we'll see what happens. Back to 13th, but we're on the inside, so that's not as bad as I was fearing it would be. So here we go. Let's see if we can get around the cars that pitted here on the restart. Down to the inside. Looks like Newman's going to be difficult about it, as is Tony Stewart. Oh, we managed to save it just. We're 4 wide, and that is never going to work. That is never going to work. And there we go. We're going to get a yellow for that? Absolutely not.
There's a wreck in turn 3.
Well, that's exactly what you don't want to happen. I'm imagining yeah, it's pretty bad. Well, that sucks.
That's the halfway mark.
The car's nice and loose now, I guess. It's probably the one positive you can take away from it. We'll see how that is when the car actually has to run on old tires. Oh boy, howdy. It is loose. It is really loose. Well, at least Chase Elliott's in the pits. He's a chaser, I think. really wish a yellow would have come out for that. But naturally, it being NASCAR heat, screw that. Well, at least the car is not handling terribly. Looks like the exit of the corners is going to be a little bit sketchy, as you saw right there, and the entries. But it's not completely undrivable, so I guess that's a positive. We'll just have to hope the pit stops work in our favor to at least salvage a decent finish out of this one. It definitely is fast. I don't know if it's faster, but it's definitely got some nice bite off of the corner with pretty much no rear downforce anymore. We got Ryan Ellis coming into the pits. It looks like we're going to pass a few of the leaders as they peel off into the pit, so we're gaining some positions. And now we're going to race with Clint Boyer because he's for position and he is a chaser, and he is one of the guys who was in the cutoff position when we were running here, or when we started the race. Don't know how that's going to end up affecting him as he tries to wreck me. But we managed to hold him off, and we start to gain positions back. So Harvick, no, he's a lap down, looks like. I was going to say Harvick is the next victim, but it looks like he may have gotten caught out by a yellow. And that is just stupid. Thanks, Labonte. Thanks. Well, okay. We'll just get back to it. We'll try to drive around the outside of Eric Jones. And we'll get him. And it looks like Boyer's coming into the pits anyway, so we'll put a lap on him. That'll be good, especially if a yellow comes out. A lot of this is going to be banking on the fact that a yellow is going to come out before the end of the next, or before our pit sequence cycles through to us. Now it's just going to be a matter of passing lap cars and making up to 7-8 seconds to the cars ahead of us. As Harvick peels off into the pits, nobody ahead of us is pitting, at least from what I can tell, so 7 seconds, almost 8 to Trevor Bayne. And Brian Scott, we've seen this before. Thank you for not, well, gonna thank him, but turns out he tried to screw me. Now Regan Smith is running 11th in an interesting new scheme. I think that's one of the DLC schemes. You'll actually start seeing a lot of the late season DLC schemes in these next few races. The free DLC that came out. Oh boy. Well, Brian Scott's running 8th. It looks like all of these guys are going to be pitting. All of these guys are going to be pitting. So that's very interesting. Stewart has extended his lead to 10 seconds. Bayne is out to 8.8. So all of these shenanigans we've been having in the back have not particularly helped my situation. But again, if we can get a yellow, this is all going to change because we're, you know, the last car in the lead lap in 6th. That would make it 7 cars on the lead lap when we get back to green. That wouldn't be a terrible proposition. Or maybe less than, or maybe more than that. Oh, God almighty.
There's a wreck in turn 1.
Yeah, thanks, it was me. And now it's saying the arrow is crap. So of course it is. How bad is it? Yeah, the radiator, yeah, everything is gone. Oh, we'll just hang on to it as best we can. Well, we lost the oversteer. Now we've got understeer. That means the car is now slow, officially slow. Well, Truex is now 23 seconds ahead of, or behind me, but I can see him, so obviously, you know, the race average is that. It's not that bad, though. I mean, we still got, what, 60 laps to go or something, 40 laps to go. So, I mean, at one more pit stop, I think we will be able to make. We should be able to make it to the end, I would imagine, and everybody else is going to have to pit one more time. So pretty much where we are is where we're going to be assuming there's no more yellows and this thing goes green to the end, which I wouldn't bank on for my life. But again, it's a possibility. We did make it through one pit stop sequence without yellow flags, so it's certainly possible we could do it again. As Jones on fresh tires and decent aerodynamics tries to get to the inside, he couldn't quite get it as we get under a net the threat.
All clear.
And now chasing Bobby Labonte. I'd like to re-lap Truex though, just for my own personal vendetta, just so I don't have to see more cars, you know, on my lap. I'd rather than be a lap down to me, you know, in case we will end up probably as the leader when everybody else pits. So theoretically there could be a yellow and we could be in the lead, and you know, we don't want anybody on our same lap if that's the case, because they will cycle around us theoretically when we have to pit under the yellow. As we come underneath Bobby Labonte, get around him. A little bit of dab of brakes there in turn 1. And we're finally starting to catch back up to Truex. He's up there in that group of cars, along with Stenhouse and Busher and Brian Scott, who we can't seem to get around without wrecking during this race. The rest of the leaders are 17 seconds ahead, so they're probably about a corner behind me at the moment. Maybe closer. Danica Patrick is up there, surprisingly, but I'm fine with that because she's taking points away from chasers, so good for her. Trevor Bayne, I don't think is in the chase. Possibly he is, but again, if he's not, he's taking points away from chasers, and that's what we need. As we run right down next to the bottom of the track and come out of the corner. Well, at least it seems we're on pace. It doesn't seem like anybody is running significantly faster than us, and nobody is running significantly slower than us. So, you know, again, maintaining position, 6th place, not a bad result if we can get it. But again, if we can get it, it's going to be the key to this one. And how everything else will end up shaking out is going to be a big-time key to the chase, and who gets in and who does not. It helps that we had 2 decent races at Chicago and Loudon. We didn't score bad points, and other people did have bad days. As we start to make our moves up through the field, and we're finally going to put a lap on Truex, so that's good. Because if he is a chaser, we need him a lap down. But here comes Stenhouse back to the inside. It's really hard to run the high line with a damaged car, because any aerodynamic advantage I had over a lot of these other guys I've lost. So it's just about, you know, hanging tough and hoping they slow down. And Kenseth is behind us, so Kenseth is trying to put us a lap down. Oh, no, 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 no. Well, there we go, 1 lap down. Earnhardt is also battling up there at the front, and Logano. No, Logano, that is not for position. That is him unlapping us, thankfully. He's trying to unlap himself from the rest of the field, but it looks like Kenseth and Earnhardt are coming into the pits. So that will save us for a little while. That's surely for position. Yes, it is. Kurt Busch making a move there. Well, not for position, and now we've got fuel alarms going off. May have seen the game lag just a little bit there. Alright, so let's take a look at this. 2 laps to go on the fuel. And we're just going to do what we did the last time, which is just go around one more time. No reason not to. I tried to get a little bit faster into the pits this time. I was a bit slow the last time. I think it may have hurt me just a little bit as we get up behind Labonte. And obviously, knock on wood, it'll be the last stop of the day, as the 1 lap of fuel is on. And there goes Johnson to the inside. Again, not for position. And we're just going to pull it off nice and easy, but not too easy.
Slow down.
and down to the pit speed limit.
Slow down.
This time around, more wedge out because we're not going to repair the car, at least under the green flag, without absolutely screwing our race. So 4 tires, full load of fuel, and then we'll get to the end of this one, hopefully on this last tank. Hopefully no yellows, and if there is a yellow, we'll be on the right sequence to not lose a ton of laps. So out of the pits we go. Well, balls. Okay, so I pitted. The reason I pitted was just to get everything repaired. We're down a lap.
Get set. The race is going green.
But, oh, I guess it didn't repair the aero.
Car high.
Okay, thanks game.
Car high.
Well, I don't know, I guess that's a glitch because the car feels fine. Well, we're a lap behind the race. We'll just have to see what happens here at the end. As Elliott, I think he's 50 laps down or so. So we don't have to worry about him. 18 to go.
All clear.
There's clearly no rubber banding from the AI,
Car level.
at least on this one. So we're going to have to work for it a little bit. And by work for it, I mean just absolutely make an unbelievably nuts move.
All clear.
Pull it off, and keep going. As boy, I wish these positions were for position, but they're not. I'm going to be very mean to Danica there. I was almost very mean to myself by spinning myself out. Thankfully, did not happen. We'll keep going here. Still 17th. Just gotta hope and pray at this point. What does the fuel look like? 21 laps. We're good on fuel. The rest of the field, who knows? You'd hope the game mercy kills a few people here at the end. But we'll see. It's possible we're going to get knocked out of the chase, I'm starting to think. Especially being 17th.
Still there.
Dump Danica. Sorry, Danica.
All clear.
Did she make it? I can't tell. Well, we'll see in just a few seconds. Yep, looks like everybody made it, so we'll keep green. Still 20 seconds behind Truex, so again, we're going to need the game to mercy kill cars. That's the only way we're going to be able to make up any more positions, it looks like. Obviously, with a long way to go still, over 10 laps. We'll see. This isn't an amazing finish at the moment. 13 laps to go. That was way too close to the apron. Way too close to the apron. And you just see the car is just not what it used to be. They clearly didn't fix the car. They fixed it visually, but they did not fix it aerodynamically. We're just struggling off of the corner. Get down here in 1 and 2. Just chasing Almirola. Again, we just gotta hope and pray that some cars can't make it on fuel. As here goes Hamlin back to the inside.
10 laps to go.
We've got 10 to go. He's still running to the inside of Johnson. I know Larson's a chaser, so we're ahead of Larson. Well, that's not going to help matters at all. We got to keep Larson behind us for sure. No doubt about that one. Definitely got to score more points than Larson. I don't know how this is all going to turn out here at the end. That is for sure, folks. But I guess that's why you watch. You never do know. As Elliott trying to get to the inside, couldn't quite do it. Danica's back there. Obviously the race is between myself and Larson.
Charlotte.
And there we go, a choke. So screw it. Can we? Yes, itchy arm. Itchy arm FTW. Larson's pitting. Is the leader pitting? No, he's not. This is tough. I'm not gonna pit. Screw it. And we didn't get the free pass anyway, so that was a terrible decision. Okay.
Get set. The race is going green. Car high.
Well, we'll just see what we can do here.
Car high. Car high.
Yeah, car's completely slow. Alright, screw it. We're going again.
The yellow's out.
There it is. Okay. Pit. Repair. Tires. No fuel. Accept. Okay, now we're 23rd. So things are getting much, much worse. So we need to get to the front of the lap cars. Bring out the yellow. Well, it doesn't... Yeah, we may get screwed here. Yeah, 2 laps to go. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Now I'll just make as many positions as I can here on the outside. There's 0 point bring out the yellow now because we're on the last lap. So it's pretty much, can I stay in the chase? Gotta hope that 4 guys had a worse day than I did. So I had a pretty bad day today. Gotta try to get Stenhouse. Every point counts. Every point counts. Nope, not gonna get to him. That's gonna be a checker flag.
I will get him next time.
We'll see what happens with the points. So 23rd, and let's take a look at this stuff. Money, not very good. I don't even care about that at this point. Let's see where we are in the chase. 77. We made it. We made it. We stayed 9th. Thank the Lord above. We made it. We made it. Keselowski, Kane, Dillon, and Harvick all out of the chase. Whew. Alright, we survived round 1. We survived round 1, and that was the key. That was the key. So, let's head back to the race shop, see if there's anything else to take a look at, and move on from this freaking round. So, from Dover, we're going to move on to Charlotte, one of my better tracks. Certainly now that we've had some car upgrades, we've advanced to the next round, obviously, round of 12. Okay. No other sponsorship things, but what we can do is, since we have got $3 million in the bank, can make an inspection equipment adjustment. What that will do is give us 3.4% grip, which is going to be very important at the next few races. So we are absolutely going to make that investment and gain 3.4% on the grip. CNC programmer. We probably won't even get to that point by the end of the season, so that may have been our last upgrade. Though, of course, if we win the Charlotte race, it's definitely going to help us in terms of sponsorship. So most laps led, then we'll need to do that. We'll need to get a top 10, top 5, top 3, and that'll be it. So those are our sponsorship requirements for Charlotte. Hope to see you guys there. Thank you guys so much for watching this. This has been David Land on YouTube. We're moving on to the round of 12, and we're going to start it at Charlotte.